Welcome to autumn. We're deep into autumn now. So this video is not so much my top 10 autumn fragrances, but just 10 niche fragrances I've really been enjoying wearing so far this autumn. So if you want to hear what they are, stay tuned. Don't leaf. You know, leaves, autumn. My humour's wasted on you. I have a bit of a dilemma when it comes to shooting my autumn fragrance video. I like to come outside into the great outdoors where autumn is surrounding me and talk about the fragrances that I've been wearing, that I'm going to wear. Oh, that's hot. If I wait until the leaves have turned, till we've got the bright oranges and yellows and golden hues, we're deep into autumn, and most people are dropping their autumn videos before autumn's begun. But if I want to come outside, that doesn't work for me. So this is why I'm a little late to the autumn video party. Why wait? Why do I like coming outside? Of all the seasons, I just think autumn is the one that has the strongest relationship with the fragrances I wear, or that I like to wear at this time of year. Maybe it's the smells, the damp, earthy smells, the dry leaves. Maybe it's the colours. The browns and the oranges. I bet if you lined up all these bottles I'm about to talk to you about, they would look the same colour as all the leaves on the trees. Wait, what have I turned into the fragrance apprentice? All right, anyway, let's just crack on with the list, shall we? So speaking of George, the fragrance apprentice, my good friend, this fragrance definitely reminds me of a great weekend that we spent together. We made a video where we battled off Carlisle and Herod from Parfums de Marly. Carlisle won, and I was really pleased because that was my bottle and we used George's bottle of Herod, but I've since got my own bottle of Herod, so I do feel a little closer to it now, and I feel a bit sad that this lost that battle. But I always think of that weekend, and we went out on the streets and we did some filming. What I love about Herod and why people just love wearing this at this time of year, in the autumn, in the winter, is it's got this very cozy, very warming, very easy to wear demeanour about it. Yet it's still classy, it still makes a little bit of a statement, it gets you noticed, it's a bit of a crowd pleaser, maybe a few compliments might come your way. So we've got tobacco, vanilla, osmanthus, doing a bit of a fruity thing even though it's not a fruit, and some incense. So it's a reasonably complex fragrance, but it's also smooth. There's no sharp edges. You wouldn't necessarily think it's a very complex, hard to wear fragrance, because it isn't. It is very easy to wear. Not the first time it's been on an autumn list, but I think it deserves a place. So Herod is one that I wear a lot in the autumn. Speaking of George, he's one of the few YouTubers, if not the only one, who's not come out with his own fragrance. That can't be said for the YouTuber who's made this next fragrance. I'm talking about Ashton from Gensense. I've had the pleasure of trying his whole line from Galleria Parfums. There were 3 or 4 that really stood out to me as just vibing with me and the style of fragrances I like. One of those was Cognac Cafe. So this is a warming, cozy fragrance. Reminds me at times, not all the time, and it's not completely the same as by Kilian's Black Phantom. It's actually the same perfumer, so I think maybe a little bit of her DNA and what she likes to put into these types of fragrances has maybe carried over. But Black Phantom, I mean, what a fragrance. Definitely one of my favourite gourmands. So you get that caramel sweetness that you get from Black Phantom. You don't get the smooth rum, you just get a little bit of a slightly sharper cognac, but it's still a very smooth fragrance. And of course you've got the coffee in there as well. It does exactly what it says on the bottle. So I mean, you know, think about sitting somewhere by a roaring fire, drinking a cognac, having a nice coffee. Something I like to indulge in from time to time. When I spray this fragrance, it sort of gives me the same contented feeling as when I'm doing that. Okay, the next fragrance. This is from a brand that I love, one of my favourite niche brands, Nasomatto. And this is one of their lesser talked about fragrances. I feel like I don't see many people talking about this one at all. Maybe it's because it is a touch more challenging, but I love it. It's great, it's Duro. So this is a very intense, woody, spicy fragrance. More intense in the opening. When you spray, it does settle down quite nicely. It smooths off, as most fragrances do when they start to settle into the base. So this sort of reminds me, there's no whiskey or boozy note in here, but because of the intensity and the sharpness, it reminds me of a very peaty whiskey. Oh, it's so good. And if you think of Nasomatto's Baronda, which would be a very smooth, very mellow whiskey, maybe a Speyside whiskey, this is that peaty version of a whiskey. So think of whiskey from some of the islands, like a Talisker, very, very peaty whiskey. But it's really well put together, it's classy. I just adore wearing this fragrance. It makes me feel good, gives me a bit of confidence, gives me a little bit of extra oomph, shall we say, when I have those days and I just feel like I need a bit of a pep up. I'll go for Duro. You may have heard of a perfumer called Terence Hughes. No, I'm not talking about Smolder, even though that could very easily have been on this list, but I didn't feel like I wanted to include my own fragrance on this list, or a fragrance that I worked with Aaron on. So what I am including is something that is probably even more wearable and more mass appealing, which is a slight change of tact for Aaron, because his fragrance is usually very, very niche and very complex, but he's tried to do something a little bit different with two fragrances actually. He's calling them the Urban Collection. You've got Legend, and the one I'm going to talk about today, which I think is just superb for autumn, is called Maverick. Aaron does Orientals so well. I think he just works with the notes of vanilla and sandalwood beautifully. There are fewer naturals in this fragrance. He has been very open that he's tried to work more with synthetics, but to be honest, you wouldn't really know. This is a warming, rich fragrance. There's vanilla, tonka bean and plum. It's got nice depth, complexity, but it smells quite mainstream and mass appealing. I'd position it somewhere in the middle of designer fragrances and niche fragrances. Very warming, very, very comforting, but it's a little bit lively as well. So for those reasons, I think this would work really well on a night out. I got another YouTuber fragrance, and this one took me by surprise actually. I had no idea that this guy was making a fragrance. I love this guy. I've made some videos with him. He's one of the nicest guys. It's Cameron from Carolina Fragrance Reviews. And when I messaged him to say, I'd love to send you a bottle of Smolder, he said, well, I'll send you a bottle of mine as well. I was, what? You've made one too? He's like, yeah. His fragrance is called 26 ELIXIR. It's an EDP. He has got the bigger, I think they're 50ml bottles out now, but he just sent me a couple of these to try it. And I said, Cam, I love it. So this is a fruity rum tobacco fragrance. It's boozy. It's got the sweet, resinous, woody qualities that you'd associate with tobacco. Super easy to wear. Having said that, there's something really nice in the base. Looking at the notes, I can't see anything that might be the note I'm smelling, but it has this punchiness. I'd almost say a little bit of an animalic undertone. I don't know, maybe it's not that. There's just something in the blending of this fragrance that gives it some structure, that just gives it a little bit of punch and a little bit of attitude, which just blends and balances really nicely with the smoother notes and the sweeter notes of the rum. So this is quite a sweet fragrance. If you like fragrances like Naxos and famously, one that everybody loves from Alexandria Fragrances is Hafez 1984. Doesn't smell like those, but if you like those style of sweet, fun tobacco fragrances, then I think you'll really like this one from Cam. I think this is pretty versatile. I could actually wear it all year round. It's not too heavy that you can only wear it in the autumn and the winter. You can wear it casually, but it's fun. It's got a lot of fun to this fragrance. Again, a little bit of a lively character. Performance is fantastic as well. This lasts ages on me, projects really nicely. So yeah, if you want a good fun night out fragrance, then 26 ELIXIR from Carolina Fragrance Reviews. Not sponsored. Now, this next one is a complex beauty, but not so complex that it's hard to wear. I'd heard a lot about this before I smelled it, and from what people had said, I thought it could be a little bit of a challenging wear. It absolutely isn't. From Fragrance de Bois, it's Sahraa Oud, and this is the extrait as well. This is the Parfum, so It's pretty strong stuff. I mean, just look at the colour of the juice in that. And the overall presentation of Fragrance de Bois is just off the scale, isn't it? It's another level, it's luxury niche. So this is a rich, complex, fruity oud fragrance. There's just a little bit of funky, animalic oud going on in this. Not so much that it's hard to wear. It doesn't smell like a horse's stable being mucked out. It doesn't smell like sweaty socks or mouldy cheese or anything like that. It's just got the perfect amount hiding in the background. So this is just a very luxurious fragrance. This is dripping in luxury. If you want to go out there and you want to be noticed, because it's strong, and you want to smell different, you want to make a statement, and you want people to inquire as to what fragrance you're wearing because they won't have smelled anything like this, then maybe give Sahraa Aoud a try. I love it. One of the best smells in the world is when you walk into a bakery or a patisserie and you smell the fresh pastries cooking. It's such a warm, cozy and enticing smell. You can smell the sweet desserts in there. So if you create a fragrance that smells similar to that with some added structure, then who's not going to like that? And this is a very, very easy fragrance to like, to wear for yourself, but I think those around you would love this. This is a Roja Dove fragrance and it's sweety oud. This has got a bit of a custard vibe. Imagine if Roja Dove made custard. Now there's a thought, Roja Dove custard. I'd buy it. So custard, because of the vanilla, it's a little bit creamy. You've got those bakery vibes, but there's a little bit of oud in here as well. So there's some structure and backbone. So it's not just a saccharine, sweet, gourmand fragrance. It's not too sweet at all. It's all balanced really nicely, as you would expect from Roja Parfums. So a custard with Roja Parfums quality and blending. Can't go wrong. The next fragrance I'm going to talk about, which I've really been enjoying, is from Sarah Baker. But I've got a bit of an issue with Sarah Baker because I think she's been telling us fibs. She's been saying that this fragrance, Loudo, is somehow inspired from the game of Loudo, the classic game, but that's spelled L-U-D-O, and this is L-O-U-D-O because it's a play on oud, because there is oud in here. But there's something she's not telling us, because I think Sarah Baker is a massive fan of Loudo from Labyrinth.
Loudo. Oh, you seem like such a nice beast.
Just like Loudo from Labyrinth, this one is a nice beast. But think about it. Loudo, he's sweet, he's got warmth. This fragrance, a bit of sweetness, it's got some warmth. There's a bit of dampness in here. Loudo lives in like a damp, labyrinthy woodland sort of place. And look, the cap is pretty much the same colour, literally the same colour as Loudo's fur. So, I know what you're doing, Sarah. I'm a Labyrinth fan too. I see you. Anyway, I love this because it's got the smells of autumn. It's got a little bit of animalic oud. It reminds me of maybe, you know, the dampness in the forest, like where I am here, damp leaves, perhaps, but obviously all in a very, very wearable, very likeable manner. And the colour that this fragrance makes me think of when I wear it is the colours of autumn, so I think it's perfect. So I think you can wear this anytime through autumn, casually. You could get dressed up and rock this one, or you could wear this if you're going to a labyrinth. Loudo.
Loudo.
Everything looks better in leather, right? Including fragrance bottles. This is the new one from Orto Parisi, and this is Cuoium. I feel like I'm saying that wrong, but who cares? I don't know. Anyway, it's the new one, and this is a leathery, ashy fragrance that's got some sweetness as well. It's very impactful. I smell this fragrance and I come up with the notes that I think are in this, because obviously they don't release the notes that are in. You've just got to guess, and who cares? If you like it, you wear it. So I think of the notes in this, and I think ashy and leathery. It should be really hard to wear, and maybe I won't reach for it that often, but I've not had this very long, but I've been reaching for it a lot. There's something addictive about it. It's a damn good fragrance. It's the only fragrance I've got that wears a leather jacket, so yeah, cool points for that. But I wore this the other day, wearing a leather jacket, not this one, a different one, and it smelled great. You know, like Duro, it's got that punchiness, that attitude, which just makes you feel good when you wear it. Sort of empowers you a little bit. So, I mean, well done, Orto Parisi. I think this probably could be my favourite Orto Parisi. I don't know. Anyway, it's really good. Okay, time for the last fragrance, and these have been in no particular order. I love them all, but I'd probably say this is the one I have been wearing the most this autumn. It's from a brand you might not be that aware of. I have talked about them in a previous video. This is from a brand called Matiere Libres. It's a French brand, and this fragrance is called Absinth Gaiac. So yes, it's got absinthe and Gaiac wood in here. So yes, you've got that complex woodiness that you get from Gaiac wood, but what does absinthe smell like? I don't know. I've drunk it a couple of times, but I can't really remember the taste of it. Is it a distinctive taste? But what I do know about this fragrance is it's full of life and energy. It's just buzzing with energy. It flies off the skin. It's really diffusive. It's got fantastic projection. In the heart of this, there's a lovely rose note, and it's quite a nice, sharp, spicy rose. And to me, it smells fairly masculine, and by that I mean I can wear it, but I think this is absolutely a unisex fragrance. I think anyone can wear it. You've also got this creaminess. I think there must be some sandalwood in here. It's got this creamy, musky quality with the spicy rose, with the liveliness of the absinthe in the top. And it's just a joy to wear. It just works for every occasion. I can dress this up, I can dress it down. Sometimes I just wear it at home in the evenings when I'm chilling out. Performance is fantastic. I really like the presentation. These bottles are solid. Anyway, who cares what notes are in this? It just matters that to me. Anyway, it smells damn good. And the best thing about this for me is it's distinctive and unique. I don't have any other fragrances that smell anything like this. If I get a unique fragrance that surprises me and stimulates me because it's a new sort of smell, that's what we're looking for, right? When we're discovering fragrances, we're looking for the next hit of something new, something that we've never smelled before. Well, I got that with this. That's why I've been wearing this so much. If you're interested in checking this one out, I'll leave a link to their website in the description below, and I believe it's free shipping when you buy a bottle, so that's good. And with that, we are done. 10 fragrances that I've been loving wearing so far this autumn. I hope you didn't mind me leaving this video till a little bit later in the year, but I just like coming into autumn to talk about my autumn fragrances. What have you discovered that's new? Let me know. Have you found something that you love and that works particularly well for autumn? If you have, drop some comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, if you liked the scenery, then give me a like. And if you haven't already subscribed, do that. And if you do, I will see you in the next one. I've got to try and get off this log without slipping off. Yeah, let's see if we can manage to. Right. I'll see you soon. Subscribe. Now, cheers.